ladies, and welcome back to Still Looking Good 58, the channel that reviews wigs for the mature woman. Today I am excited to say that I am collabing with Weezy Wig Reviews on her Strong and Beautiful Slay. If you're not familiar with Weezy, she has a YouTube channel and she has been around for a while. She is very generous. That's what I really love about Weezy, and so supportive. And she is doing the Strong and Beautiful Slay with 12 of us in the YouTube community. And what we're doing with this Strong and Beautiful Slay is featuring an African-American person who has influenced us. And so if you have not gone to her channel, go ahead and check her out either before this or after. Now, I have decided that I'm going to do my Strong and Beautiful Slay on my cousin. She's a children's book author, and she started her career back in 1967, but I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about her, but her name is Virginia Hamilton. I'm also wearing the OUTRE Arlissa wig, and here is the picture of her, and I'm going to show you how I slayed Arlissa. I have her in the color DR2 Ginger Brown. So let's take a look at how I put her together and also my cousin's literary journey. Virginia Esther Hamilton was born on March 12, 1934, and let me explain to you how she's my cousin. Virginia's mother, whose name was Etta Bell, and my grandmother, whose name was Bessie, were sisters. So my grandmother and her mother were sisters, and when my mother was born, my grandmother named my mother after Virginia's mother. So my mother is also named Etta Bell. So that's how we're related. So anyway, Virginia is the youngest of 5 children of Kenneth James and Etta Bell Perry Hamilton. Virginia grew up amid a large extended family in Yellow Springs, Ohio. In the farmlands of southwestern Ohio, where we are from, my family has been there since the 1850s. And my great-great-grandfather, Levi Perry, was brought into the state as an infant via the Underground Railroad. So Virginia graduated from Yellow Springs High School and received a full scholarship to Antioch College in Yellow Springs. And that was a pretty popular college, especially in the 60s. It was kind of forward-thinking and very liberal. Anyway, Virginia then transferred to Ohio State in Columbus, and she majored in literature and creative writing. After that, she moved to New York City in 1958. That was the year that I was born. And she did a lot of odd jobs before she really got into writing. Virginia worked as a museum receptionist, a cost accountant, a nightclub singer. And it's interesting about the nightclub singer part because her daughter Lee actually is an opera singer in Germany right now. And her son Jamie, he's also a writer and a teacher. Anyway, Virginia studied fiction writing at the New School of Social Research under Hiram Hayden. He was one of the founders of the Athenaeum Press. In New York City, Virginia met her husband, Arnold Adolph, and Arnold is a poet, and he still lives today in Yellow Springs. They were married in 1960. So while Virginia pursued her writing career, Arnold worked as a teacher. In '69, they built a home in Yellow Springs, and they spent the rest of their years there between New York and Yellow Springs. In Virginia's lifetime, she wrote and published 41 books in multiple genres. And so that means that she wrote in a lot of different areas. She wrote folktales, she wrote mysteries, she wrote science fiction, which is really surprising because I believe in 1978 she published the fiction books, and there were not many African-American women, let alone African-Americans, period, that were writing science fiction back then. Anyway, Virginia died in 2002 of breast cancer, and we really all miss her. But while Virginia was alive, again, she wrote those 41 books, and she described her work as liberation literature. Now, she won, and let me just tell you, she won every major award in children's literature. So I'm going to read off to you some of the awards that Virginia won. Virginia won the Boston Globe Horn Book Award for fiction. She also won the Coretta Scott King Award for The People Could Fly, another book called Sweet Whisper's Brother Rush and Her Stories. She won the Edgar Allan Poe Award from the Mystery Writers of America for House of Dyes Dreer. And House of Dyes Dreer was a book that was also made into an ABC after-school special. And you know the girl who played in Martin, not Gina's friend, I forgot her name, but anyway, she played in that movie when she was a young girl. Virginia also won the highest award that you can get, which is the International Hans Christian Andersen Medal. and she also won the John Newbery Medal. She won the Laura Ingalls Wilder Award for her body of work. She also won the Library of Congress Award. So she's won a lot of awards. She won the NAACP Image Award for her outstanding literature work, and it just goes on and on. So Virginia also has her own conference at Kent State University. It's called the Virginia Hamilton Conference on Multicultural Literature for Youth. And she also was given, she was named, another award was actually named after her. It's called the Coretta Scott King Virginia Hamilton Award. So, yeah, Virginia did really well in her writing career. And I'm going to mention to you some of her books. One of the first books that Virginia wrote was called Zelie, and she wrote that one in 1967. That was my favorite book and the first book that I think I read from her. She also wrote The House of Dyes Dreer, as I mentioned to you before. She wrote The Time Ago Tales of Jadu. She wrote The Planet of Junior Brown, which was also made into a movie. She wrote a biography on W.E.B. Du Bois. She wrote M.C. Higgins the Great, which was another honor book that she won. She wrote The Life and Times of Paul Robeson. She wrote Arilla Sundown. She wrote Justice and Her Brothers, and that was the science fiction books I was telling you about. She wrote Dustland. She wrote The Gathering, and it just goes on and on. So if you are familiar with Virginia and you have read some of her books, put them down in the description section or tell me in the comments what books that you've read of my cousins and how much you enjoyed those. I truly, truly am happy to discuss her because I too am a writer, as some of you probably already know. I've written nonfiction, but I'm also writing fiction as Virginia did. And I'm hoping that the children's books that I write are going to be as effective and have as much influence on the readers that I'm writing for as hers did. So yes, if you have not heard of my cousin, I would really suggest that you go onto Amazon or Goodreads or one of those places and check out the books that she's written. And again, tell me what you read and what you really liked about the books that she's written. And if you are an aspiring writer, tell me that too down in the comments section, because I would really be glad to discuss these kinds of things with you. So that's the journey of my cousin Virginia Esther Hamilton, who was born in 1938 and died in 2002. Okay, ladies, I hope you enjoyed that sleigh as well as that information about my cousin's literary journey. Again, I am wearing the wig Arlissa, the Outre wig. She is a melted hairline, and I have her in the color DR2 Ginger Brown. Let me show you what she looks like in the back really quickly. There she is. And as you saw in the video, she was a really, really easy sleigh. I just put some bedhead hardhead in there, put my powder in the part, and that was it. So I want to thank Weezy Wig Reviews for allowing me to be a part of this strong and beautiful sleigh. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and hit that button and the notification bell so that you don't miss any of my uploads. And as I always say, ladies, if you're going to show love to anyone today, please show it to the creator. I'm still looking good, and of course, so are you. See you next time.